The pundits understand football, but they are absolute amateurs in making predictions. Seriously, I'd rather ask my grandma how a World Cup match will end than Alan Shearer, for example. The bar for an expert in the betting or gambling industry is so ridiculously low, it's beyond belief. A good starting point for all this is to look at the dictionary definition of the word expert. It is a person with a high level of knowledge or skill related to a particular subject or activity. An expert is, generally speaking, a person with extensive knowledge or ability based on research, experience, or profession and in a particular field of science. What we see in our industry, however, are people referred to as experts in predicting who have virtually nothing to do with it. Let me clarify. Making prediction is not the same as taking bets. Betting, and more specifically professional betting, has nothing to do with what you hear on TV. In the studios of the channels that broadcast the English Premier League or those that broadcast the Champions League, different people are invited who are connected to football. Some are former or current players, coaches, fans, journalists, and etc. These are not people who understand betting. They most likely have never heard of Asian handicap, for example. I think the industry is really having a hard time distinguishing sport expertise from betting expertise. Unfortunately, they're just lumped together and it's assumed that if someone can do one, then they must be able to do the other. Before we go any further, make sure you log on to our bettingnoob.com site and start winning sports bets, as you can start from our free subscription. We've done so many videos on the topic of what professional bettor really is, and we will continue to do so because it's hard for people to learn. There are still those who bet by drawing conclusions from the opinions of football commentators and analysis. The truth is that the big leagues invite recognizable football faces who are influential in the sport to the studios before games, and their aim is to hold the viewers' interest. Why do you think Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher have been Sky's main pundits for so many years now? Yes, they definitely understand football, but isn't their skill the best at getting into heated debates and keeping the intrigue going on in the studios? And haven't they spent their entire careers at the two biggest clubs in England? Hardly any Brighton midfielder who speaks more boring than Harry Kane would be on TV for so long. So yes, it's very simple. When you bet, don't listen to people like that. I could give many more examples of how low the barriers to entry are to becoming an expert in the betting industry. Literally anyone can be considered as an expert. How do you think experts in this field should be defined? How about people with proven track record and real long-term profits in betting? This would be a good starting point, right? Obviously, not everyone has their statistics in details, but that would eliminate 99% of the current experts. Of course, I'm not saying that someone can be an expert in betting if they haven't shown their long-term gains. He may specialize and be an expert in a different area of the sector, that is to contribute in a different way, but most of the time that is not the case. It is hard to find any other field where the majority of people who present themselves or are presented as experts actually have nothing to do with being professionals in it. I think of the cryptocurrencies, financial markets first and foremost, which are also full of scammers or people fooling the public. How has it become the norm that the standards and expectations are so low? Partly because the most powerful and most influential faces in the industry and those with the most power are extremely happy with the current status quo. They find it profitable to treat football pundits like sponges. As the keep saying goes, keep them in the dark, leave them uninformed, give them nothing to look at but crap. Welcome to the world of professional bettors in the 21st century.